Next up is Dominic Bilkey. Could you present the work you're doing at the Immersive Storytelling Studio at London's National Theatre?
Okay, well, firstly, I'm really pleased to be here and talk to you about this today, and I guess I'm representing the subsidised producing theatre element of the arts when it comes to these technologies, being from the National Theatre. So I'm one of a team that transcends both the audio and video presented on stage, the content of applications, live broadcasts within our NT Live, and the development of emerging technologies within the creative performing arts sector. So the first thing I thought I would do, seeing as I am about 4,500 kilometres from home, is just tell you a little bit about the National Theatre for any of you that don't know who we are and what we do. We are the busiest producing theatre in the world. It's a claim. I'm going to be lynched outside later. And it is a theatre-making factory. What's unique about the National Theatre is on site that we have everything we need to make a show. So we have scenic art, prop making, carpentry, metalworks, armoury, costume, sound, video, lighting, automation, visualisation, the digital immersive studio. We have everything under one roof where we produce all the shows that you see on our stages. To give you some idea of the scale, on the South Bank we have 3 theatres, a learning centre, a work development studio, 4 restaurants, an espresso bar, a riverside bar and a shop. I'll go through this quickly to get to the interesting bit. This is all good? So in 2016, we staged 35 plays, 27 of which were new productions. We did 3,134 performances, and we're currently averaging about 88% capacity with our audience. Interestingly, and as we talk about the technology, 30% of which were first-time bookers in 2016. So part of the work we're doing at the moment is seeking new audiences and diversifying through the work we're doing and how we attract younger and newer audiences to the theatre. As we start to move into the digital, internationally we have an audience base of 7.6 million in 2016, including cinema broadcasts through our NT Live, West End Broadway, international tours and transfers. The NT live cinema sector grows year on year, and it's a product that broadcasts not just NT shows, but partnered with other arts organisations and broadcast shows from partner theatres such as the Donmar Warehouse, the Young Vic and others. As a section within this, we also have an on-demand in schools, and 1 in 3 state schools have signed up to receive our cinema broadcast for free. And they also have access through this service to NT On Demand in schools, which shows them encore showings and exclusive educational videos backstage at the National and commentary about the shows which are on the stage. It's a great medium for introducing the arts to young people, and it's at the forefront of live broadcast technology. The National Theatre has made a commitment to digital platforms and actively works in a number of areas. The Digital Immersive Storytelling Studio was established to examine how virtual reality, 360-degree film, augmented reality, and other emerging technologies can widen and enhance the NT's remit to be a pioneer of dramatic storytelling and to enable an audience to stand in the shoes of another. The fundamental key thing with the Digital Immersive Storytelling Studio speaks for itself with its title. It's about the story, it's about the work and the art, it's not about the technology. The technology follows later, as Robert alluded to this morning. So the studio has 3 brands of activity. It's got the Homegrown, a series of projects originated entirely within the National Theatre itself. We have partnerships, formal partnerships with creative, technical and commercial collaborators, very important in producing this work. We also have artist residencies and support, working with a selected group of artists and organisations to help them realise how these technologies can work for them. So it's about the work we do at the National as a hub, as a centre, and taking these ideas and this development and bringing other arts organisations from around London and around the UK in to work with us. It's not an exclusive club where we're closing behind doors going, this is a technology and you can't play with it. It's an open door, come and play. We want to talk to you. We want to develop with you. We want to grow together. You know, it's very easy within these technologies where everyone perceives them to be very expensive technologies. And of course, the easiest way to reduce those costs is to work together and play with these technologies and develop. Theatre regularly uses technology to enhance the theatrical experience or to allow creative teams to do things that would otherwise be difficult or impossible. And the Immersive Storytelling Studio commissions new work to be experienced through or incorporate these technologies. So to take you on a little bit to Wonderland. In 2015, the NT staged Wonderland, a musical adaptation of Alice in Wonderland. Music by Damon Albarn, if anybody wants to get it online. In the show, Alice is an avatar of a high school girl called Ali, and the rabbit hole is the internet, and the Wonderland is a virtual world that exists online. So this was utilised throughout the performance and used of mobile technology on stage. And then with the audiences, what we did is we created a virtual reality music experience, allowing the audience to fall down the rabbit hole and explore Wonderland for themselves, and be serenaded to a song by Shay, the Cheshire Cat. I have a headset with me if anybody would like to meet Shay at lunchtime. It's an interesting experience, very hallucinogenic. I think that's probably going to leave that there. So to escape her bullies, Ali uses her phone to go into Wonderland in the school toilets. So what did we do? Well, of course, what we obviously did was recreate the school toilets in our public areas. So we created school toilets in the public areas front of house, and we invited the audience to come and experience both pre-show, post-show, and as a free offering throughout the weeks when the building is open. The experience ran alongside the performances, and throughout that time, we managed to get 90,000 people to come through and see the VR experience sat on a toilet in the foyer. Why not? And as I said, I've got it with me. We are actively investigating the development of such technologies in our auditoria and the ability for audience members' tickets to provide both a live performance and a VR or other augmented reality experience in the rep environment. It has to be sustainable, though, and for a run rather than one-offs. As a repertory theatre producing work, in a building that's open 363 days of the year, the work that we produce has to be sustainable so that multiple people can experience. The one-offs are great for us and they're great experimentations, but when we're producing work, we need to find ways of delivering that to multiple people. As a kind of a side note to that, at the moment, I don't know if you can see from that picture, it's quite dark. At the moment, we've got Ugly and Eyes the Bone in the Littleton Theatre, and this allows the audience to experience the virtual world of Jess, a veteran of 3 tours of Afghanistan, injured in the line of duty, who builds a virtual VR world as a form of a pioneering VR therapy. So in this show, if I go to the next slide, it probably shows you a little bit better. The entire set is a creative 3D bowl. And what we are witnessing in the bowl is the world of Jess through our augmented and virtual reality through her goggles. So as Robert alluded to earlier, what we are experiencing with the audience is allowing the flip of the virtual reality so that we're watching one person's experience and then it is projected all around the theatre. So we're having an inclusive, immersive experience together, sharing in this story of this individual rather than being isolated within our own individual goggles. Some of the other work, very quickly moving on because you don't hear me talking all day. We've also produced a film called Home, 2016. It's a 360-degree verbatim storytelling film telling the story of Amir, who was a 22-year-old Sudanese refugee. The film tells the story of a brave and tenacious young man whose recent life has been a continual fight for survival in the constant face of aggression and rejection. And this film challenges many perspectives about refugees forced to escape their original homeland and deepen their views, understanding by placing them in the shoes of the original lost soul. So this is a 360-degree film where you can take on the first-person perspective of Amir and walk through. It's actually in the Calais jungle. It was about 3 days before they tore it down over in France. I've got a few screenshots there of the kind of spread out. I've also got that experience for me with a headset if anybody would like to experience Home. Find me in one of the breaks and I'll let you walk through that. So what are we doing next? We're working with a group of writers and directors to develop new work, specifically for 360-degree film, virtual reality and other emerging technology experiences. Draw Me Close is a collaboration with Canadian playwright-director Jordan Tannehill, who partnered with the NT and the National Film Board of Canada to create Draw Me Close, bringing it back home to Canada. A vivid memoir about the relationship with his mother in the wake of a terminal cancer diagnosis. Jordan's mother is played by an actress whose movements are translated using motion capture into the illustrated world, while she physically engages with you, the actress physically engages with you in the real world. So you're wearing a virtual reality headset, the performer is wearing a virtual reality headset, and through motion capture, you're experiencing the mother first-hand in your VR, and occasionally the actress reaches out and touches you and breaks that boundary. It collapses the worlds of live performance and animation to create this really unforgettable encounter between the mother and a son, and it demonstrates that the technologies have a place in enhancing the experience of our theatre audiences and that their coexistence is possible. Exactly how, we don't know, we're still discovering. Whether that's, and everyone's been talking a lot about augmented reality being the next step, where we are aware of the world around us, but it's being enhanced through technology. And maybe that's where this, eventually comes to a natural conclusion. We run a film school where we, directors, designers, writers and actors go through the process of making films or experiences for 360-degree film and VR. We work backstage. We're developing a series of behind-the-scenes films that give 360-degree views into parts of the National Theatre that are not usually accessible to audiences. We're currently doing one which involves the National Theatre in the Olivier stage, for anyone that doesn't know it, and there's no reason why you should, has got a massive drum revolve which extends from the car park all the way up through the main centre of the building. And we're currently doing a 360-degree film of that, which enables you to see the mechanics and the engineering and how that works as an educational tool. So we're using the 360-degree technology as an educational tool as well as a creative tool. We're working with adaptation. We're exploring the potential for 360-degree filming techniques to capture or represent the essence of an existing performance, and we're adapting several scenes from Curious Incident of the Dog in the Night and People, Places in Things. So we're placing the individuals in the centre of the action. If you look on the NT Digital website, there is a great 3D exploded video trailer we did for Jane Eyre, where you experience it from being on stage as the stage kind of erupts around you. So you can watch the performance as if you're on the stage rather than being sat in the auditorium. And then the final thing I've got is our blended productions, which is we're working with a small group of writers, directors, developers and designers to explore the potential for live performance experiences that blend into them the new technologies. And that's the key thing for us being a theatre, is maintaining our core business whilst exploring these new technologies and not being afraid of them. It's about finding the appropriateness for them and engaging them and using them as a tool, the same way that we used video on stage as a tool, or sound was suddenly a tool many years ago, or electrical light. None of these things are that, they're just current and revolutionary, and we shouldn't be scared of embracing them into the performances that we're giving. The blended is a very important area of development where audiences might experience works as either part of a full production or, more importantly, as a bespoke site-specific piece of theatre where the confines of the art installation, the arts institution and building are surplus, therefore, to requirement. So we have to expand our views of what theatre is, what arts organisations are, and be prepared that maybe the buildings that we hold so dear to us in the future might have to adapt and change to deliver the kind of digital and creative technology performance in the future. Thank you.